Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Creating Minority Real Estate Millionaires. I hope everybody is doing all right this evening. I got a lot that I want to cover today. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So today I want to talk a little bit about if I was a flipper. If I was a flipper, and I'm not, but if I was, I'm going to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, today how I would do it if I was a flipper. So, regular ground rules are in play today. All participants be muted during the call. We're going to ask questions in the question and comment section during the day, and of course, always give me your feedback. If Whitfield is on, he'll be answering your questions in the chat field. And when we're all said and done, I'll follow up with a Q&A of my own. But I got to start with Black Lives Matter. I know all lives matter, but not until Black Lives Matter. And so I am a champion. That's what I'm doing as far as making minority real estate millionaires. I want to change the game, people. When I say change the game, I want to empower my brothers and sisters to be able to do more than what they've been able to do just by working their regular 9 to 5. I'm going to empower them and show them how to make real wealth and how to be able to impact this world for good. So Black Lives Matter. We stand by that. We stand on that. So let's keep it moving, baby. So today our agenda, I'm going to talk a little bit about flippers, what you need to understand. If you're a flipper, I need you to understand a few things. So I'll be sharing that with you. I want to talk about the risk that's associated with flipping. Well, here's what I want to do. I want to also talk a little bit about flipping versus buy and hold, which everybody knows I'm a buy and hold guy. And then we're going to talk about if I was a flipper, and then I'm going to do the old ACON. I'm in love with a flipper, those of you who know ACON. So let's start off with a little Rayism here. A formal education is going to make you a living. You got a good job, you're working every day, you're from 9 to 5, you're getting that W-2, you make a good living at that. But self-education is the key, my brothers and sisters, because it'll make you a fortune. The stuff that I'm teaching you on this webcast, I can help you make a fortune. But you got to do what I asked you to do. And so I know people got a lot of different ways that they can do this game. I'm just showing you one way. You need to figure out your way and make it happen. So let's get started. What do flippers need to know? You're a flipper out there, you need to know how to analyze your target market, right? You need to know what market that you're going to be flipping these homes in, what types of homes, what size of homes, what area code, what zip code. You need to know those areas before you even think about flipping, right? Do your analysis. And as a flipper, you got to find some great deals, baby. This is not about being out there. You cannot make money as a flipper buying at market value. You can't do it. So you got to be able to find great deals. And you got to be able to get your deal financed. I'm going to talk to you here in a minute about you got to basically have either cash or hard money or somebody that's going to give you the money to be a flipper. You can't go get a mortgage loan and be a flipper. This game doesn't work well for you if you don't have cash, you don't have hard money, if you don't have access to capital. As a flipper, you got to know how to remodel and rehab. You got to be able to run the numbers, figure out what the property needs to bring it up to the level that you need to do so that you can make the maximum profit on that deal. And you got to be able to manage your money. I mean, this flipping deal is not easy. You have to manage your money, baby. Understand, manage. And then you got to hire the right contractors to do the work. Again, we talked about contracts a little bit in the buy and hold, but it is very, very much more important when you're talking about flipping. You got to have people to get the job done right and get it done on time. So what are some of the risks associated with flipping? Well, the first risk is getting the money. If you don't have cash or you don't have the money, how are you going to get the money to flip these deals, right? You got to either get hard money lenders, or you got to have a sponsor, or you got to have somebody that's willing to front you the money if you don't have it on your own. There are risks with the market. The market goes up and down what the value is of these houses. So your ability to be able to determine what the after repair value is very critical. You have to know what you're doing in each market that you're operating in. And you got to understand there's a risk that you'll run out of time. I mean, if you got a house that you're rehabbing and you 3 or 4 months into it and you still, rehabbing that property, at some point you're going to run out of time or you're going to run out of money. So you got risk with market time and you got risk with money. And you got to manage all of those all at the same time. This is a very risky game. And I would not recommend it for the newbies. But if you do your homework and you study and you understand how to do this game, you can make a lot of money. So let's talk about the difference between a flipper and a BRRRR investor like I am. Everybody knows what BRRRR is. That is the strategy where you buy, you rehab, you rent it out, you refinance it, and then you repeat it. So the differences are, as a flipper, you're going to generate some immediate income. Because you got a quick turnaround, you're usually going to sell that property within 3 to 4 months, generate income. On the BRRRR strategy, I'm creating income and wealth, right? I'm not just creating net cash flows, I'm creating wealth because I own that property, the loan's being paid down, and the property is appreciated. So I'm getting it all kind of ways. A flipper, on the other hand, is going to pay capital gains tax. The moment that you make $30,000 on a flip, guess what? The government's going to take 30–40% of that right off the top. So to me, that's a con for flipper. On the BRRRR strategy, I get to use depreciation to offset my taxes. So I'm actually reducing my taxes. I'm not having to pay capital gains and I'm reducing my taxes. That's a double whammy for me. A flipper doesn't own the assets. All he's doing is fixing it up so he can sell it. A BRRRR guy like myself, I own a portfolio of assets. I got all my girls working for me. All these homes are generating money. They're generating appreciation. They're generating tax savings all at the same time. A flipper trades dollars for hours, and he's working hard. I mean, you working hard every day, getting this property up, and then at the end of the day, you hope to sell it at the highest price. So you're trading hours for dollars. Well, BRRRR, I'm just sitting back making passive income, right? Yeah, I know there's a little work working with the tenants, but if you get the right tenants in there, you get the right property, it's pretty much money is coming in every month. And then the flipper making that fast money, baby. They out there making the fast money. But a BRRRR strategy, buy and hold strategy, we're in it for the long term, baby. We're here to make money long term. So here's one guy on the Invest for More.com had these, and these are similar to some of the things I just said. In house flipping, you're looking for short-term profit, rentals, you're looking for long-term cash flows. He says that house flipping, you're going to need more repairs to sell. But on the rental side, fewer repairs. I mean, I don't know about that. He says age, location is not important. I believe it is important. I'm going to show you an example here in a minute. Rentals, yeah, age, location are extremely important. I say it's important on both sides. On house flipping, there's no long-term concerns because you buying it, you fixing it up, and you selling it. You don't hold it long-term. On rental property, you got some oversight, you got to manage it. He says that it's easier to find a partner in finance. I don't know if that's true or not. Most people are not willing to give up their money to people who say, hey, why don't you give me about $50,000? I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to put it on this property. I'm going to flip it. No, you're not going to find very many people that's willing to do that. On rental property, it's tougher to find great loans, especially if you're looking for long-term loans, 20-year, 30-year loans. They're harder to find now. And then he says on house flipping, it's easier to find deals. I don't think that's true, and I'll show you here in a minute. Rental properties, he says it's harder to find deals. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, there's always a dichotomy. There's always two rationales for why people do what they do. House flippers love to flip. Rental property owners, buy and hold. We love to buy and hold property. So we'll always find reasons for why we do what we do. So I'm in love with a flipper. So if I was a flipper, here's what Mr. Ray would do, right? I would only use cash or hard money to purchase property. I would never use a loan. I would never use a line of credit. I would find me an equity partner so that I could flip the property with cash, because you got to be able to offer these homeowners cash to get the deal closed fast, and to also to make sure that you're able to have enough money also to fix it up, right? So you got to have money to buy it, and you got to have money to fix it up. I would also make sure that my deals profit at least 50K or more. I'm not even going to spend my time trying to make 20K or 10K. If it ain't making 50K, I'm not fooling with it. That's just me. That's not everybody. I know everybody has different thresholds, but as a millionaire real estate investor, I need 50K or more if I'm going to do a flip. I would make sure that I have reliable, dependable contractors lined up to complete the rehab. This is your mystery right here. This can kill you right here. If you don't have good contractors, they're not on time, they're not on budget, they're not doing it right, this can kill your flip, right? And then I would also make sure that my ARV is solid. You know, we talked a lot about what the after repair value is and how you figure it, the comparables and all that good stuff. At the end of the day, you have to be on point on this, because you got hard-earned money, got cash at stake. If you got people fronting you, they want to make sure that you have done your homework, you understand what the market value is of that property. If you buy it for 50 and you say you can sell it for 100, you better make sure that you can sell it for 100. All right, I'm still in love with a flipper. What else? As a flipper, I need to be really good at finding and securing wholesale or cheap properties for cash. That is your bread and butter. If you can't get those properties for cash, if you can't find them on the cheap, you're wasting your time. You are never going to be a good flipper. And then I'll also make sure that it was going to be reasonably quick for me to sell that home based on the comps in that neighborhood, right? If the comps in that neighborhood are nowhere near my after repair value, then I'm just asking for trouble, just asking for trouble. So I would also be good at estimating the repair costs. You know, you got holding costs, you got finance costs, you got all kind of costs. You better be really, really good at estimating your costs if you want to make sure that you're going to be able to profit on this flip. So again, if I was a flipper, I would have a 70% rule. And my 70% rule would look something like this. So if I had a property that I knew it was worth $100,000 and it needed 20,000, this is just an example, needed 20,000 repair, I'd estimate the holding costs, the closing costs, all the costs all in. At the end of the day, I know that I could only offer $75,000 on this particular property if I wanted to be profitable. So as you look at this particular example, it's actually 75%. So for me, I want to be even a little bit lower. I want the repairs to be less, or I want the ARV to be higher to get me to that 70% rule, right? Some people say, well, 75% would be good, Mr. Ray. It may be good for you, but if I was a flipper, this is what I would do. Okay, let's look at a flip on the market. Let me give you an example. I have an example here that I want you guys to see. So this is a property that I was perusing. I found it out on Zillow. This property is for sale over on the northeast side of Oklahoma City, 720 Northeast 31st. This property is 3-bed, 2-bath. It's only 900 square feet, and they're asking $129,000 for it. Now, for those of you that know this area, for those of you that don't, the average home is selling in this area for $30,000 to $40,000, right? How is it that these guys are wanting $129,000 for this property? Let's go back and look at some stuff. So when I look at the history, this property sold, he bought this property or she bought this property in January for $35,000. Took them 4 months to rehab it, and they listed it at 129. Very nice property, very nice. You look at the pictures, very nice, well done. They spent a lot of money on it. I would say they probably spent at least $40,000 bringing this property, if not more. So, but the thing that troubles me about this property is that they're asking $129,000 in an area where the highest value house is probably $50,000, right? So who's going to be willing to pay $129,000 in an area where the houses are selling for $50,000? I don't know. Maybe this guy or girl knows something that I don't know. But I find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to sell this property anywhere near $100,000. So there's another one right across the street, 721. 721 Northeast 31st. Now they cut the price on this one down $6K already. It's still at $100,000, right? Let's see here. It doesn't show how much they paid for it. It's not listed. But again, these are very nice properties, well done, well rehabbed, updated everything, beautiful homes, but they're in the wrong neighborhood. So we're going to be watching this as a team, and we're going to determine whether these guys are going to be able to make the money on this. So here's this house at, let's see, 720. Let me back up here. So here's 720 Northeast 31st. So you can see the comps in that area. There was a house sold for $30,000 back in, looks like, yeah, November. So, I mean, houses over there are selling for $30,000 and $40,000. This is what the house looked like before they rehabbed it. So, I mean, again, we'll just have to be looking at that, and we'll see how that goes. We're going to keep tabs on that, all right? So let's go back to my, let's go back here to my presentation. And the presentation, let's go this. So that was the current flip. So, baby, let's get out here and make some deals, make some deals. So, that's all I've got right now. Let's see, questions. Any questions from my participants today? What are your questions? Let's open it up, wide open, baby. Let's talk about these flippers.
Mr. A, I got a question on your 70% rule.
Yeah.
If you could pull that slide up.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody mute. I'm going to put everybody on mute. Let's pull it up here, right here. Hold on just a second. All right, I got it.
So if I'm looking at that math right, it sure looks to me like there's no profit calculated in. Am I missing something?
Exactly right. And so you have to at least put that in there to even get to the 70% rule. That's a good catch. So I didn't even put my profit. So if I said I wanted 20,000 profit in here, then that takes my maximum offer down to what, 55K? Exactly. Good catch.
Okay.
So yeah, you got to put your profits in there, all your costs and your profit in there. So that's a good catch. I didn't put that in that equation. What else? Who's got more? How many flippers we got out there? Anybody out there flipping disagree with me?
Hey, Ray, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing? Oh, we got a flipper on the line. We have a successful flipper on the line. Tell us, what you got, Brian?
So just for recent, all I have is just recent history.
Okay.
So we started the flip. We're over just west of, and you came out there, Ray, so it's just west of the plaza, a couple miles on
Yeah.
15th Street. We got into the house through a wholesaler. To your point, find them cheap. So we got with a wholesaler group that sends out emails and just says, hey, here's a hot house. Came on the market today. It's going to be gone tomorrow, kind of a thing. If you want it, jump out, take a risk. And we did. And so we started that in March the 20, no, sorry, April 7th is when we actually started tearing the house apart. And then we sold it June the 7th and gutted the whole thing out. It's a 1934 home, but all of your stuff you're saying is exactly right on the point. We had to have good people you can trust, people that's going to show up again tomorrow and not disappear on you. We had a really good team to do that. And we stuck it on a price out there that was a little bit over market value, but still a little over it. And we had 11 offers. We had an open house on a Sunday, and we had 11 offers by the end of the day above the price that we were asking. Millennials are going crazy on these old 34 or 30s, 40s homes. All we did, we found the hardwood floors and just cleaned it up good. And but in that area, I'm just talking history. That's all I can tell you. Just recent history. We're closing on it in July, first part of July. But it went above the price, and they were just our open house. There were so many people in there you couldn't even walk around. They went crazy.
So tell me, when you set your price on that, was it similar to what's in the comparables in the neighborhood, or were you a lot higher?
Yeah, I took the comps in the neighborhood, and in that neighborhood, there's kind of weird. It's on 15th, but if you go to 16th, that's the one that runs east-west through the plaza.
Right.
So if you come south of 16th, if you're on 15, 14, something down in there, prices go down a bit. You go north, 17th, 18th, which is in Linwood Edition up in there,
Right.
really sold homes in there. So we're kind of right in the middle of that. So I comped both south of me and north of me, and then kind of took an average of that.
Okay.
And then I went about 10% over what the comp was, which I thought was still maybe a little bit too high. But it's crazy if a couple out of New Jersey bought it over the phone. They've never seen it.
Right.
The realtor was walking through the house, showing it to them on their phone, and they said, "We'll take it."
Yeah, that's great.
So just that's all I'm just saying is just history right now. Is current history is that those homes seem like they're still hot. You know, you're in the mid 160, 175-ish kind of a home, and it just they can't get enough of those right now. So
yeah. And I think your area, the area that you bought in over there, that is a hot area. So that's key to flipping. Make sure that you get a hot area, you can turn that thing over.
You're right. You're right.
So Brian, if you don't mind, once you get that sold, I'm going to have you on. You're going to take us through kind of your particulars, if you would, sir.
Absolutely. Sure will.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
You're so welcome.
What else? Anybody else got questions?
So I do have a question.
Who is this?
This is Ken.
Hey, Ken.
How you doing, sir? I wanted to know, as far as if you have, say, find a wholesaler, just to know so that I wouldn't, because I'm sure there's scams out there. But what would be? How would I know I'm dealing with a solid wholesaler and somebody who's, how do you deal with them properly to where you're negotiating a good deal?
Just ask a lot of questions. Wholesalers are not, there's no laws, when it comes to wholesaling, those guys get properties all kind of ways. And so you just got to make sure you're dealing with a reputable person, make sure that they actually hold the rights to sell that property. A lot of these wholesalers, they'll get out here and they'll make deals with people and they really don't have the house locked down, but they'll try to sell it to you. So that's a whole nother lesson. But I would say just make sure you ask a lot of questions. Make sure you're dealing with a legitimate wholesaler.
Hey, Ray, this is Brian again. I'll just throw one thing that I learned for your listener there as well. One thing I learned when we went to the wholesaler there, the first thing I asked them, who do you use for closing your houses? And as soon as they told me, then I called the closer and I said, are these guys legit?
Yeah.
And then if they say, oh yeah, they do deals all the time here, we know them very well. Or if they just said, I don't have a clue you're talking about, then I'd have walked away. But that was one thing I did. I just called their closer.
Good, good. And when you went to closing, you closed with a wholesaler. So your closing costs were what?
About, I think it's like $1,100 or something total.
So it was just proration on the taxes.
Yeah.
You had to pay your insurance. They had title work, stuff like just the regular stuff, other than dealing with a bank, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So everything was smooth on that.
It went smooth. Went down there. We used American Title, I believe, down in Moore, and went down there. It was a 1-hour deal. Walked out, and it was a done deal. So,
Good.
but yeah.
Very good. What other questions?
Hey, Mr. Ray, this is Darren Lampkin.
Hey, Darren.
I got a question. So when I was trying to sell an old house, initially they were saying that I can't go over X amount. So if it appraises at, let's say, 60,000, I couldn't sell it for 90. But when you just did this equation, it was people they spent 30 and they selling it for 100. How is that even possible if it's only appraising in that area for that much?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. So I'm thinking whenever the prospective owner goes to buy this property and they take it to the bank and the bank looks at it and say, oh, you got a $129,000 home in an area where houses are selling for 40 and 50,000. I don't know if the bank's going to loan them that money. So again, I'm going to watch that and we're going to see how this works out. I believe they're going to have to drop these prices significantly, but I can't see any bank loaning $129,000 in that area.
Right.
Okay.
This is Leanne. I'll make a comment. I think that flipping is more like speculation. I mean, you do your homework, you try to make sure I buy it right, get good rehabbers, build in a profit, put it on the market, but you're just hoping that the right person's going to come along. And sometimes you do hit the jackpot and somebody comes by and buys it if you're in a hot area. But I've watched houses that I look at them and I go, there is nothing wrong with this house. And week after week, it doesn't sell. And they keep dropping the price and it doesn't sell. I don't see it. I don't understand why, but sometimes they just don't sell.
Yeah, I mean, again, it all depends on what the houses are selling for in the area. If you're way over market, you're going to have a hard time selling that property.
Well, in my experience, some of these houses weren't even over market. And I don't know why they didn't sell, but it's really like speculation. You're taking that chance that all the planets are going to align and it's all going to work out and you're going to make $20,000 or $30,000 profit. But
there are a lot of people out there that are making a lot of money flipping houses. So it is being done. You just got to make sure you're doing it right. What else? What else you guys got? We got about 6 more minutes. We can take a few more calls, a few more questions.
Okay, I got a question, sir. What is a certain type of loan that you think would be good to get for a flipping a house?
You have to get a hard money loan. Banks are not going to loan you money to flip a house. If that house is not in repaired condition, the bank's not even going to fool with you. So you got to either have the cash yourself, you got to get hard money, you got to bring an investor along with you. Banks typically are not going to loan you money on these type properties.
Okay.
All right. right, what else we got?
Hey Ray, this is Brian again. Do you have contacts that you know of that are hard money guys that like to lend money into flippers in the area?
Yes. What they typically do, Brian, is they require you to bring 20 to 25% to the table to have skin in the game. They'll finance up to normally 50% of the property, and they'll do either a 6-month, 3, 6, or 12-month loan for you. And they can do interest-only loans. It just depends on what you do. But they usually are looking for guys that are experienced, that have contractors lined up, that have been doing this. If you come in as a newbie and you come in there and you present this house to them and you haven't done your homework, they will laugh you out. But there are people out there. In fact, I am a hard money lender. If you bring me a deal, I will lend you the money to get the property. If it's a slam dunk deal and we can get her done, and you bring me all the numbers and it lines up right, I'll do the deal. So I'm kind of a hard money guy myself, so I know all the rules, and it's very hard to get the kind of deals that I'm looking for that I'd be willing to put my hard-earned money up. Again, Leanne talked about there's some speculators out there. I don't speculate. I try to get all the risks taken out. But Brian, there are a lot of people out there loaning money. Again, you got to put skin in the game. They're only loaning 50 or 60% of the LTV. But there's money out there.
You're right.
Yes, sir. Other questions? All righty. So one of the things I'm going to end with, some of you guys, I've been sending out books that I want you to read, and I'll send out, some quizzes that I want you to do. And if I don't get responses on those, I'm going to start. I'm in the process of I'm separating the wheat from the tares. Right. I'm starting to get down to people that are really serious about this. And if you're not responding to me when I send stuff out, then I'm probably not going to keep sending you stuff. All right. To me, this is serious business. If you're serious, I said it's free, but it's going to take a commitment on your part to be able to let me know that you're serious about this. So when I figure out, or if I find out that you're not serious about this, you'll stop receiving stuff from me. No hard feelings. I still love you, but this may not be the curriculum, the path for you. So just wanted to put that out there. I love all you guys, but you got to be responsive if you want to stay part of this team. I'm getting ready to do a couple of Facebook Live deals in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm going to be bringing in a whole lot more people. So I'm looking to all the people that I'm bringing in new now are going to be paying. You guys are still going to be free. Everybody else is going to be paying, but I'm going to be spending a lot more time with people that are serious about it as opposed to people that they just like to get on and hear about it. You at least got to participate. That's all. Even if just try, even if you can't solve the problems, at least give it a try. That's all I'm asking. Show me some effort. So with that, I'm ready to sign off for today. I got some stuff for you guys coming up on Real Time Thursday. My guy has been at work. I have actually getting ready to close on 2 deals. One I'll be closing on this Thursday, and the other one I'll be closing on July 2nd. So I'll have a lot of good stuff to share with you on Real Time Thursday. We're still rehabbing Madison over there, so I'll have 2 more properties in the bailiwick here that I'll be rehabbing over the next probably the next month or so, and I'll be using the bird strategy. I'm going to show you guys how this bird strategy works. All right, over and out. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day.
See you, Ray.
See you, Ray.